Hello everyone, I'm Doodles, and welcome to my YouTube channel. When I started drawing Pokemon a few years ago, I never thought I'd be here making a YouTube video about my own Fakemon. Over time, my art improved, and now I'm ready for the next step. Since I've never done this before, I expect some hiccups along the way, but I'm sure I'll get the hang of it. I've learned a lot, and now I want to share my art and maybe learn more about Pokemon. So to start things off interesting, this month, I will be doing all challenges, but with a focus on fairy types. I call it Fairy. For my first video, I wanted to do a challenge I see in the Fakemon community a lot, which is the Change One Letter Challenge. If you don't know it, basically, I will change one letter of a Pokemon's name and redesign it. Since this is my first video, I wanted to do something I was already familiar with. I will say, picking just a handful of Pokemon for this concept was really hard, so I'd love to do more in the future. Thankfully, the fairy type twist really narrowed things down. And when it comes to the Pokemon in this video, I wanted to keep the same overall shapes, but show how different they could be with small changes. And for the purpose of this video, we will consider them convergent evolutions. Now that we know what to expect, the first Pokemon I want to talk about today was actually the inspiration. When I was thinking about what Pokemon I wanted to do in this challenge, Mantike was obvious for me. Ever since I can remember, manta rays look like pancakes, and food is a common theme among fairy types, so I give you Pantike, the pancake Pokemon. I swapped the M for a P, and I think this confirms mantas are just sea pancakes. Maybe it's still just me, but either way, look at this sticky sweet little guy. Since mantas are pancakes of the sea, pantakes are the pancakes of the sky. When it came to typing, I couldn't pass up keeping the flying type, and as an ex-diner waitress, I know pancakes can indeed fly, and syrup gets everywhere. For the redesign, I kept the overall shape and just extended the fins a bit. I went with a golden brown color palette and made small changes to the gills and mouth to give it a fluffy vibe. For the antenna, lobes, horns, whatever they're called, I made them syrup. Though the syrup is probably the biggest change I made in this redesign, I think the combination of subtle changes really brings this concept to life. When it came to the shiny, I was really torn between a burnt pancake and a cupcake, but since young and inexperienced cooks will often burn their pancakes, and Mantike is a baby Pokemon, I had to go with that. For the abilities, because of the syrup, I gave it a signature ability called Soothing Syrup. It's kind of like Regenerator, but for your buddy. When this Pokemon comes into battle, it creates a puddle of syrup. When the next Pokemon is switched in, the puddle is absorbed. If that Pokemon is injured, it recovers up to 1/3 health. I went with Fluffy for the secondary ability because not only is it on theme, but thanks to the hidden ability Well Baked, your opponent might be a little more hesitant to try and burn your pancake. For the stats, I kept the same stat totals for all of these Fakemon, but moved things around to further improve them. I swapped the defense with the special defense and then took 5 points from the new special defense and put it in the HP. Speed stayed the same because it flies through the air at the same speed as Mantike. Pantike can often be seen flying around the chimneys of bakeries and grandma's houses. The syrup of this Pokemon is said to have magical properties. I'm really happy with this redesign. Now we gotta evolve our Pantike into Pantine. The only thing better than a flying pancake is a bigger one. When I was redesigning Mantine into Pantine, the question of how it evolves was a real head-scratcher for me. Since Mantine evolves with a Remoraid, and it's included in its design, how do I make it work here too? Since this video has a strict change one letter fairy challenge, I considered how it could fit in the concept, and the best I came up with was Lemonade, and basing it off of lemonade. But honestly, lemonade and pancakes are just a no-go for me. So, Pantine will evolve from Pantike once it reaches max friendship. But I do have some ideas for Lemonade, so let me know in the comments if I should put it in a video sometime. For the design, I of course went bigger and better. I gave the fins a more fluffy lace pattern and kept the same golden brown color palette. I kept the same design aspects, making the gills and mouth fluffy too. I also went with a pose that shows off its buttery pattern. So as I mentioned, I was really torn on the shinies for these guys. I love Pantike's shiny concept, but really wanted a cupcake design too. So with my birthday right around the corner, I figured cupcakes are just small birthday cakes, and since Pantine is pretty much a bigger Pantike, I settled on a birthday cake design. I mean, I would love a shiny Pantine themed birthday cake. For the stats this time, I moved 10 points from the attack to the HP, kept the defense swap, but then took 5 from the special defense and put it in the special attack. Because its syrup contains healing properties, any dish created with it will leave you feeling rejuvenated. So what do you think? Was Mantike and Mantine one letter away from being fairy type? Moving on to our next new fairy, let's keep the water type going and add fairy type. Now, I've had a soft spot for water types ever since Gen 1. Staryu and Goldeen will always have a special place in my heart as some of the first girly Pokemon. But this next Pokemon is far from one of my favorites. Luvdisc's design is too simple as a single stage and is hardly useful on top of it. I did see potential in its simplicity to expand its design and meaning, and it was an easy one-letter change. So for Luvdisc, let's take the V and make it a C. This is Luvdisc, the good luck Pokemon. I decided to include Luvdisc in this challenge because it looked like it should have been fairy type already and needed some love. As with the other Pokemon in this video, I wanted to keep its heart shape. I thought about 4-leaf clovers and how the leaves were heart-shaped already. After researching that Luvdisc is in part inspired by Kissing Garami and that they also come in blue and green, I knew what to do. I widened the heart shape and made it green to match. I wanted to break up the solid color of Luvdisc and further nod towards clovers, so I gave it this pattern. I did want a more dynamic silhouette, so I added whiskers that resembled a clover stem. I thought about how friends make clover rings for each other, and I think it was a good choice. I kept the eye blue and made the shiny blue too to help further tie in its water type. I'm actually surprised with how much I like the shiny on this one. When it came to Luvdisc's abilities, I went with Hustle to up its speed, but at the cost of accuracy. I felt this was on theme since you have to have good luck if you want this Pokemon to hit, because if it's not 100, you might as well flip a coin. For the hidden ability, it had to be Super Luck. With Super Luck, Luvdisc has a better chance landing those crits, leaving your opponent hurting. It was super hard to not up the stats on this one, but with a little rearranging, I think I made it work. I switched the attack and special attack, and same with the defense and special defense. Legend has it you can never find the 4th leaf of a 4-leaf clover because it became a Luvdisc. Their trainers are known to have amazing luck. And that's how I would fix Luvdisc, by giving it a convergent evolution that's fairy type. The last 2 Pokemon in this video didn't really need to change to be a fairy since Pokemon already gave them fairy status in Gen 6. But as soon as I saw its potential, I had to include it. Cottonee and Whimsicott are great grass fairies, but for this video, what if there was a convergent evolution that was normal fairy? Cottonee, the aloof Pokemon. I've always loved Cottonee and Whimsicott, but I had to make the O and A because I'm a big fan of cat Pokemon and you can never have too many cats. Many breeds of cats have a curly coat such as the La Perm cat and the Siberian. Cottonee was basically begging for cat ears and a face. I added little paws to the fluff and made the leaves adorable red sleeves. I made the eyes classic cat yellow. For the colors, I went with a pink, white, and red because they are common in normal and fairy types. For the shiny, you know I had to go with a black cat. And I kept the red, of course, because it's a really nice color combo. I don't know if I could choose between them since they're both so cute. I mean, could you choose? They're just so adorable. And for the abilities, I felt like Runaway and Emergency Exit were definitely on theme. And for the hidden ability, I went with Serene Grace. I did go a little bit crazy with the stats here. I rounded the attack to 20, the defense from 60 to 50, then I took the 7 points from attack and put it into special attack. I swapped the defense and the special defense. Cottonee often wander off to sate their curiosity. Their trainers don't worry though, because they always return home. Of course, we couldn't stop the kitty cuteness there, so let's go ahead and evolve this Cottonee into Whimsicott, the loyal Pokemon. I had to incorporate all that fluff into a tail for this one. I can just imagine curling up for a nap on a rainy day with your Whimsicott. It just looks so soft and cuddly. I would just adore having a Whimsicott. For the most part, I kept the same changes that I made with the Cottonee. I gave Whimsicott paws and cat ears and a cat face. I turned the horns of Whimsicott into curly ear tufts and kept the same color palette for both the normal and the shiny. I kept the same abilities, but for the stats, the attack went down by 12 and the defense went down by 5. Special attack and defense went up, and I rounded speed to 115 because why not? Trainers that have shown patience and understanding will have a lifelong friend in Whimsicat. Its fur is as soft as a cloud and just as light. I am really happy with all the redesigns in this video, but if I had to choose, Catney and Whimsicat are definitely my favorites. I would love to do this challenge again sometime, but with a different twist and Pokemon. I really don't think these could have turned out any better, and I hope you guys agree. So that's my take on the Change One Letter challenge, but with a fairy twist. If you want to tell me what other challenges you want to see, or let me know what you thought of the video, why don't you leave it in the comments below? If you liked the video, let me know by hitting that like button. And if you want more of my Fakemon content, why not subscribe and click that notification bell? You can also find me on Instagram @Shridoodles for more Fakemon content. Until next time!